What's going on, guys? Crest here with another episode of The Roottrees Are Dead. Let's see if we could really get into this. I remember last... Okay, let's actually go ahead and click on this. Last episode I was wanting to focus on this guy. Right here. Let's see here. Roottree Sisters and their parents died in a plane crash December 6, 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door, said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figures gave you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Roottrees who said they would be the easiest family members to place. After some time, they returned with new resources. A photo of Carl's generation, taken in the mid to late 1970s, as well as some papers and mail from the office. And they said they had a bit more to share after 9 more blood relatives. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Rootrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is one from the 70s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next president, Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, Eli. That's cool. The photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, "To Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job could be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work the three of you did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get in the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done this without the two of you fighting for us." So, I'm reading this, but I'm not paying attention to what I'm saying, and that's not good. Okay. Carl and Brenda. Let me get situated in my chair. Carl. So... Ernie? Past? I know I have 2 more. Give me a sec. Oh, it's not a root tree. Just what I do? Oh, no. Just what I do? Oh, crap. His real name's not Ernie. Son of a... Ernie Jr. Note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled this water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo, it says, "Couldn't make the reunion. Wishing you well from Paris. Gwen and the boys." It was 11? This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached to it that seemed personal. There's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from the newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, "Love is our future." Handwritten note says, "Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation." Uh-oh. There. So, is Ernie important? No. Red is, though. Red Roottree and Miracle. So, oh, no way. Okay. No one over here. Where's Miracle? Two of these are important, but one name is not. Oh, it's not. One of them is not showing up as a star. Right? I'm not crazy. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, they will be locked in. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. Oh, right, like these. I zoomed in way too hard on that. Like if I could get a picture of Clark. Rafferty. Oh. Oh. Two fan sites for the band. Jim and Diamond seem to mention that he used to make music with Clark Rafferty. They mentioned an album called These Times. Don't think that's the same Oh, it might be. That would be interesting. I just looked up These Times. Someone with the surname Diehard Dazzler scanned the cover and noticed that it cost him over $200 at auction. Noted that it cost him. Apparently, this was Jim Roottree and Diamond LaRue's first song together. He also mentions that it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister, and it was only somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. You can't find anything else about Diehard Dazzler, the band, or the single. So all that's left to do is add the scan to your evidence. After a blazing fast 35-minute download, the track is also available. These Times, an old single from a folk group, C&J, so Clark and somebody, right? Website also listed the song's credits. Clark Rafferty, Jim Roottree, backup vocals by the LaRues. Folk style songwriting, catchy. The lyrics of this song contain no clues. That's good to know. Here we go.
Life is life, love shall be. Me for you, and you for me. Someday will come, though, that this tree will be the last of what was we. With passing years, all paths diverge.
Okay, so if I look, we got. It's just gonna play. That's Jim because of the facial features, right? Which means this is Clark. He can't be singer, right? Musician. I'm gonna put it for now, but I don't think that's the main one.
We'll tell ourselves these stories.
He's got to go by a different name now, right?
Dwell on warmth, ignore the colder. Probably yearn for what could be.
Clark
Rose
Rafferty.
tinted by youth's memory. So act as though these times ain't fleeting. Love still flows,
Who's the
our hearts heart beating. For now, ignore fate's destiny. Two roads to cross
Lauren?
once at this tree. Someday these times will all
Lauren released a few romance novels. I wonder if there's anything under that.
dries on the
No.
morning clover. So take my
Oh yeah, the book. Oh boy.
name with me.
Oh boy. The book.
These times are ours for free.
Just getting married, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18, for God's sake. Danielle is much older. Openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16.
Someday these times will all be over. The dew dries on
What picture?
the morning clover.
I think it's right.
And carve your name with me.
Oh wait, he got married numerous times. Oh,
These
right.
times are
Split
ours
up.
for free.
Split up. On back to the book. Like the rest of his generation is free spirit. What else do you do? Call a group of kids grown up with more money than any one person can spend. Forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge. The most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be legal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob. We were walking in the woods. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Swashbuckle my heart. What the? No, not the periodicals. Dang it. Swashbuckle my heart. I think that's how you spell it. Yes? Yeah. So should I go Lauren Roottree? Yes? Oh gosh. I don't think that's how you spell that. It's not. Two F's. A copy available, re-released as X marks the spot. Okay. Nothing relevant to the investigation was found in the public library. Is this when she went by Roottree? Yep, according to the book, according to the back of the book, this is a buried treasure by Lauren Roottree and from the author of the Court series. Also says to keep an eye out for Lauren Rootree's next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 years later. Ooh. X marks the spot. Oh my god, what happened there? Court series. A buried treasure. Let's see what they did there. Keep an eye out for Lauren Rootree's next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 years later. The version of Lauren Rootree's diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures It has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. Oh my god, what else is it printing? One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain objects: the death of Elias. Summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some other select pages. Oh. Is it different? Oh, it is. Oh, it's weird that I already have that picture. This page is an additional note and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary and his companion piece to the entry about her son Clark. Reading this back, I get deja vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's got married again. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So Danielle is the first one. Danielle's the first one. You know, while that's a great picture of Clark, I really need an actual photo without his like stuff in the way. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Charlotte, but neither of us ever took a second husband. Well, the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Elias C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Elias C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, unintended. Who knows what causes these things? I suspect he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel. I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio, but still, I don't think marriages on such a shaky foundation like that can last, and Lord knows I was right last time. So Jane? There's a Jane? Duh, that makes sense. Give me the other picture. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I'm gonna go based purely off the hair and say that Diamonds is that one. So this one is her. The fact that it has a photo of it. I feel like this one is that. I could be wrong. No, I feel pretty good about that, actually. I feel pretty good about that. Okay. Clark split up and actually married someone else and stayed that way. But Jane also married somebody. Holy crap. Is not a companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. The biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. And I get it. There are 4 Eli's, for Pete's sake. But that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one of them meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Junior, or Miracles Eli, or Eli C. Our family's names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the name of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's names come from. One thing that is always consistent in our family, though, is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. That seems very important. I need to look at that. Don't I? Do I need to? Also, Miracle Jr. Wife, Edith. Firstborn son. No, I meant to click off something else. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generation went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of Junior. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottree. I had to break the news that they got my father's name backwards. Clancy Edward. Page from 1975, 10-year anniversary release. This has no importance, apparently. Didn't read that. Okay. Your diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottree had died. During the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottree. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain the rights to run the farm, any and all decisions related to it. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. All right. Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant. After the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. I remember that. Patricia was married off to such a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that, almost. None of the next gens have ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr., who finally married in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottree in the first place. Even though she was not part of the Clancy Trust? Well, even though she was not part of the Clancy Trust, he wanted to include her in family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottree. All of my doubts were all ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never had. Was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Her children seem eager to help in the family of their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long, long time since any real Roottree was excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. Okay. So Samantha Roottree Elias Jr. Do I have that? Yes. Or Patricia Christensen. Patricia. Christensen Steel was a steel company in Butler County. On a World War II history page, you find that it contributed to the war effort by creating parts for vehicles, but after that went out of business. Christensen Steel and Patricia Christensen both are mentioned in a book review for Steamy Correspondence by Tina Angelino. That's a big name. It's a fake name if I've ever heard it. This is a book of historical letters with an erotic twist. Each letter is accompanied by context from the book's author. A letter from the book has been added to your pages. What? What the heck? 1934, someone who goes by Patch wrote a letter full of innuendo to an unknown gentleman who it is clear she had a romantic history with. Patch is thought by the book's author to have been Patricia Christensen, a daughter of the owner of Christensen Steel. Her nickname was Pat, and Ch were the first two letters of her last name. Patricia Christensen was known to appreciate wordplay like this. Patricia, who would have been in her mid-20s when the letter was written, was married to an older man of no notable status. This letter was most definitely not to him. There are also a few passages after the steamy bits that mention a daughter, leading Tina Angelina to theorize that this letter was written to the father of a child she hid from society in some way. The letter ends on a mention of a twisted twin that seems to evoke imagery from classic literature. If not for her story, yours and mine would be the most tragic tale ever told. How awful is it that such beauty was ripped from its rightful fate, and worse, sent to live in possession of your brother's twisted twin. Left an outcast, forced to a life of labor under a wicked relative. It's like something from the start of a children's fable. She deserved not the life he has been sentenced to. He can't stand to be apart from you both. Someday I shall return to you, and I pray that he has not corrupted her to know his sins. I swear that on that joyous day, with all the strength I can muster, I will fight for our child's freedom. Let us pray her fable has a happy ending. Tina has no theory for what the more cryptic part of that meant. Sure. Alright. What if I try... I tried. Is that right? That is right. I can't change that. Okay. Wait a minute. I don't think this is right. Yeah, I had to move it over, I think. Everything is messed up. Because now she's actually way over here. She's not here. So wait, what? I feel like I'm not getting something here. What was this again? My brother, my uncle, my cousin. Eli. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation. So Grandpa Elias. So Grandpa Elias Jr. Why do I feel like I have a picture of Elias Jr.? So that's Elias Jr.? Her grandfather? No. It's not her grandfather. For old time's sake, we gathered in the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me he looked a lot more like Pops than the old one. I was outvoted by my brothers and sister. The four of us stand together. Eli. Of course. Founder and first president of the Roottree County. Oh, crap. Last Roottree Jr.'s name is listed on the website about historical buildings in Butler County. He's listed alongside an old residence that has been free saved called Hunchetop House. Historical buildings. What is Hunchetop House? Crap. Hey, new periodical added. Butler County is located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. While the Roottree Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city, the company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits. The area has a lot of history with the family. Butler County Times, presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles from all over the years involving the Roottree family and those adjacent to them. It's been automatically added to your periodical search interface. As a side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County, and it turns out the creator never lived in or near Butler County, even had any connection to Butler County. Is this just making fun of this game? I'm guessing that has no. That's throwing me off. Elias appeared in the Butler County Times quite often. Almost everything you find in the first few pages of results are the same type of things you can find with a basic internet search. He invented 5 pieces, was Watchman. No, Junior. Oh my god. I just spelled Journey trying to spell Junior. That was embarrassing. How do you. What is happening? My brother, my uncle, my cousin? One of these is Eli. Yes? My brother, my uncle, or my cousin. So yeah. One of these is Eli. One of these is Eli. And that's Eli. Eli C. I don't think. God, if I looked that up, I swear. Okay. Miracle's Eli. Let's push Miracle. Miracle Network, a production company run by Miracle Roottree Estates. Bare bones has a fun blurb. Witness testimony of the Miracle's Roottree. Rap. Wait, Miracle Roottree arrived so late in his mother's life that the doctor swore he wouldn't survive his first year. Mother and father Elias and Gwyneth named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sister by over 14 years. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems, but still, with the power of God on his side, he preserved. Triumphed over those complications, even regained his sight to spread the healing word of Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottree Jr. arrived, became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottree name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. With the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it most. Power of the Lord come to a town near you. So I've already read this. Because I have the blurb already, right? I have that. I have the... Ooh, yes. So... That's gotta be a miracle, right? Father. Father's brothers. Uncle. Miracle. Yes? No. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled. Holy smokes. I think I only have one so far right now. This sucks. This is taking up some time. Wait, what's Bare Bones company run by Miracle Roottree. Miracle Network. Oh well. On a website called Clergy Watch. Yes. I remember this. Okay, yeah, I remember this. Okay. Yeah. Wife Nicole said to be the youth pastors. Miracle third. Is that's a choice though, isn't it? I don't mean it like that. That's a choice. So if I wanted to Eli no, Miracle? That's what she said, right? Miracle's Eli. Or Eli C. Miracle? Miracle's Eli? No, because that would be third. Miracle Jr., wife Edith. Miracle third, wife Nicole. I'm gonna try this. See if this works. Televangelist? Public speaker, I guess? Preacher? With wife Edith. So Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. I'm gonna guess. Yeah. Not that far out. Miracle Jr. Miracle third. Wife Nicole. Sorry about that. I apologize, Nicole. Just realized that. Oh crap. Wait on that. Youth pastor. That's not a choice. And Miracle? I don't need Junior. Elias. So yes? Yes. This will be the last one. That is Miracle. Now I need... All time stake we gathered in the warehouse. I wanted Eli. Oh man. Is that? That's not what I was thinking of. No, definitely not. Color guy. This one. Rat. Oh wait, unknown occupation. Was he also a preacher? I'm just gonna run everything preacher. Preacher. No? Okay. It might be staring me right in the face, and I hate this. Bonnie. Miracle Jr. Is in here somewhere? That's Miracle Jr. Oh, where was the new photo I just took? That one? No. No. Oh no. Yeah. Bonnie, next president, Guy Hudson. Ernie Jr., Caroline. Whoop. Oh wait, is he a preacher? Politics, nurse, news anchor, musician, model, mechanic, manufacturer. Actor. Public speaker? Did we do public speaker instead of preacher? No? Okay. Going back to Miracle. He was not well known for the scandal. What? Yeah, what was this? Emotional material. Instead it is shortened to Miracle J. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who is part of the Miracle Network. Yeah, that's what I looked up. 1979. Is there any more to that I can get? No? Edith what? Jacobson? Seems to be a partial and corrupted list of archived articles from the Butler County Times. The article is cut off, but it mentions Edith Jacobson and an arrest. Blotter article about Edith Jacobson that also mentions Helen Roottree and Lucinda Jacobson. 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get into the room where the church houses their weekly tithings. Cursed didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottree. It was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottree was quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives, and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I'm confident He has brought these young women to us for a greater purpose." So Helen Roottree is not her mate. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Same thing. Cool. Lennon? I guess that's why. Alright. Well, let's see what we got here. Good reason why for last name isn't that. Fuck! Well, going with it for right now. I don't think he's a... So he'd have to be just a public speaker now if he lost. Which means this one would still be preacher. Yeah. Miracle third. Gwen and the boys. DDC? What would be that? I feel like this is right, and I hate that I can't get anything with it. Wait, Miracle Roottree. Did he have another? So late in his mother's life, Doctor swore he wouldn't survive the first year. His mother and father Elias. So, world famous and got top billing Miracle Juniors on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. He will be marked on the chart with a star. Miracle Roottree. The flyer says will make a special appearance. Miracle third and his wife Nicole. There's no other stars. So that has to be. That has to be Miracle Jr. World famous, this guy. Photo now, welcome. Celebrate with your pastor, Miracle Third. So that's Miracle Third. And that's might not be the first one. That has to be him. Probably not the best picture. It says he's a preacher. But he did lose sight. I remember that. Three of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't get over well. So Elias, eventually I suppose to stop the tantrum. So after that, that's also Do I put him as a... I feel like I'm going in circles. I actually don't know how to spell this. All right. Let's see. You do find one article mentioning legal troubles. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take across the southern United States called the Three Generations of Miracles Tour. Going on tour to leave their legal troubles behind. As the advertisement, the results of the Butler County Times are not particularly relevant to your search. Any attempt to find more about the legal troubles is thwarted. That's a word. Miracle Roottrees has arrived so late. Oh, same thing. Nothing? Team Blast? Now Team Blast loves to talk about religion. Younger and his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. Can I go? Ooh. Margot light? Margot light? How? When? Seriously? Because if that's... I don't know. That might have just been a name that I threw in there. What is Wynn's? Wynn? That are not yet available on VHS. Oh, movies. That's not very well organized. Wynn Roottree is a somewhat well-known actress. 1950s, she appeared on tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. I looked that up. The title is a play on words where it can be read that there are two women are men similar to other men, or that men are found fond of them. What? Starring Gwen Roottree, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. Gwen Rootree's co-starring Guys Like Us. Not much relevant information as she does not have any additional credits on the site. There isn't even a Did You Know trivia section for her. Harrison Lane. Television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was a villain in the first season of Western Frontier. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. That's great, buddy. Christmas Mission is on a page called Flops. It was a war movie about World War I released in 1955. It received poor reviews. Lost studio money. Gwen Roottree had a role as a soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. The movie was marketed as an incredible true story, but no record of the events happening has ever been found. Word. Granddaughter of Elias Roottree. She should have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare for those days. So Gwen. I'll look up Gwen over here. Yeah, Roottree. Nothing? Dang. Hey. Local movie theater that happened to list Gwen Roottree's name in the cast list for the films they were showing at the time. Almost all of them are for Gods Like Us and Christmas Mission. It does not seem like Gwen was a resident of Butler County for long, if at all. I was going to stick with Miracle. I don't know where I'm going with this now. Because these are not solid. Neither is that. So I have possibly 4 on here. But out of the 4, the 3 of them are not. There's not even 3 that are 100%. Do I change this to see president at some point? No. Elias started the family business. Surely he must have received some attention in the media. Have I not dug into Elias? I've dug into Elias. Are you just telling me old stuff? Do I have to go down a good bit? Only produced syrup. After 5 pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his quarterly life. Blood is thicker than syrup. Any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy. So I think it's as easy to knock out if I just paid attention. Give me a sec. 5 piece. Okay, Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it. The 3 of us were all about the same age. And, that contains label picture. This is the 5 pieces. This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. I even clicked off that. I'm on the left. Where'd it go? Angie and I both wanted to be in this photo since Miracle was in it. The 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over as well. At least. Eventually, I suppose, to stop the tantrum, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later they never even took a second photo. That's Gwendolyn. Should be Roottree, yes? Not that. See, this is where I think there's 2 Gwens, yes? Yeah. Throwing this down, but I don't think this is where she should go. Once again, I don't know what she would be. Yep, I have no idea what she would be. The 5 pieces. Where was the information about the 5 pieces? There are 5 flavors because the original inventor had 5 kids. It also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Let's go, Stin. G is for grape. So Gwendolyn, Eli, E. E. And M is melon. Oh, and then Miracle Berry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I can get this. E. So G would be first. So Gwen is first. What is it? Oh, unknown occupation. E is for elderberry, so Eli? Right. Makes sense to be her uncle. So Eli. Crap, that's what I'm talking about. Ah! Wait, Elias Jr. is already out somewhere? Elias Jr. is here. Oh, it's not in order. CE. Clancy Edward. Clancy Edward. Clancy? Really? Ah! Named after Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias's son and the Roottree Candy Company's head lawyer at the time. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up online discussions about financial matters and inheritance. Are split every quarter amongst bank accounts, representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. An account is created for each blood relative at birth. And guest lecturer talk about the Roottrees versus RR. A student then attached the lecture about it, wrote the following on a legal oddities website. Successfully to remove a fellow member from a trust, it was said that RR attempted 2 arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock. Second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Due to the ironclad wording of the Clansett Trust, it was impossible to remove any of the descendants from Elias. Once again, I think I'm sticking with this. I think I'm sticking with only once you've verified. Okay, my bad. We'll go back to Miracle. Not there. There. Butler County Times, great deal over the years. A throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take across the southern United States. Oh yeah. because of advertising the results of the weather kind of times. Blah, blah, blah. Business watch. Teen Blast talking about Miracle? No. Did I look up? I did, didn't I? I'm just gonna give me this. And 3 years later, Roottree Jr. arrived. So he never. He was always preacher or televangelist, which is not a choice. Televangelist is not there. Preacher is. Oh my gosh. Which ones did I get right? Hey, I got the Roottrees. Oh, sorry. yes, I definitely did. I got miracles. I knew it. I knew they should have all just been labeled as preachers. Oh! Oh man, that took a little bit. Oh yeah. So, that's not genuine. Did it not give me anything new? Wow. So music items? Marketing items. That's cool. Alright guys, well. That really didn't help. I can't believe I wasted that. Go away. Clancy Jr. Alright, well. Tried to go with Clark for a little bit. Wound up going with the miracles. But you know what? Got him. I got one of the 5 pieces down. And their family tree. Also, Miracle had another one? That's interesting. Because we definitely don't talk about that one. That's Nicole, right? That's Nicole. Oh, that's why. That's why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't do it. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Well, thanks guys so much for watching this struggle of an episode that I just kept running around and around in. Until next time, I'm Chris Whaler. This is the Rootrees Are Dead. See ya.